Hello and welcome. Today I'm here with Meyvel Mentado of Trailblazer Divorce Coaching, LLC. Meyvel, I'd just like to say thank you so much for being here and having this conversation with me today. And thank you for being a sponsor of the Self Care to Wellness Bundle. Really excited for us to have this conversation today.
Hello, Cassandra. I really appreciate you having me here.
Tell us what drew you into the world of self-care and stress management in the first place?
What drew me into this stress management world was the actual legal world, which is pretty stressing.
I can imagine.
It's very stressing. The reason why I started is because as a paralegal, when I first started, I had no clue what to do. And one thing is what they teach at school, and another thing is what you actually do at an office.
Oh, yeah.
There are two different things, two different worlds. I was really getting very stressed out. And that's when you start thinking about self care practices, because up until that point, you just go through life thinking that self care is just lighting a candle, reading your favorite book, taking
Yeah.
a hot shower, and things like that, which is totally fine. I love candles. I have lots on at home. But self care actually goes beyond that. And after that, I started seeing these women that would come to the office that were experiencing some other kind of stress, which was not related to my legal stress, which was related to my professional environment. They were very stressed out by their professional environment and the legal process and whatnot. So I started digging into self-care practices. And what was it? I started digging into meditation and mindfulness. After that, I happened to go through a life-altering event, which was my second divorce. And that was very, very complicated. I was married to a narcissist that brought me to a breaking point in my life. I had to put a stop to it. I had to start becoming serious about self-care the minute that I understood that I was living somebody else's life and giving up mine, which is not right.
Yeah. No,
And we always
absolutely.
talk about that, but we don't know it. We are not aware of it until we reach that breaking point. And that's why I deal with all the emotional component of mostly the legal world and all the stress that it brings. It tends to bring out the worst of people, unfortunately.
Since you started talking a little bit about the work that you do, tell us about your organization and the work that you're most passionate about right now.
Well, my organization is called Trailblazer Divorce Coaching. It's a divorce coaching practice. It kind of lives in the middle of the legal world and the emotional component to it. I decided that me as a paralegal, I was already doing this kind of work with people. When you have an attorney, you call your attorney and you think your attorney is your friend. Your attorney is not your friend.
Mm.
Your attorney is your attorney. And it's there. Yes, your attorney is there to make sure that the legal practices and your legal rights are reinforced. But people don't know that. People think that their attorneys are their therapists. And that's when they call and they vent. But they don't do it to the attorney, they do it to the paralegal. And talk to them, we try, but the thing is that we cannot give legal advice. We cannot even tell you what to do as far as self-care goes, as hear you out and tell you what we're going to do from the legal point of view, but not from the self-care or the emotional point of view. So I decided that I wanted to create something that would fill that gap. So I would be that person they would talk to. One of the self-care practices that you are recommended to do when you're going through a legal process is that ideally you're supposed to have a whole network of people around you so you can lean on them. So that network includes your attorney, your therapist if you have one, your friends, your family. Everybody brings some sort of support to your life. An attorney can cost you anywhere from $250 to $500 per hour. That's
Ooh.
a very expensive therapy session. So we were talking about the network. Where you have that, you have your therapist. Your therapist is supposed to go into the root of the problems that you have or you are experiencing. They are You're a psychologist and they go deeper. They analyze the root so they can change something. Your friends always they are always gonna be on your side, and they're gonna tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. And there is a difference. Your family, it's gonna be there. Some of them, some others, you're not gonna be wanting to be meddling in your affairs and all that because they always have an opinion that you don't want to listen to. And then there is a divorce coach, which is the one you can talk to freely. That's going to tell you the right advice. That's going to tell you where to go, what to do. It's very well intentioned and well informed advice.
That's work that I think is really because so many people either don't have that support that you were talking about, or like you said, sometimes the support system that they do have is not necessarily the most
What
supportive exactly of what you really need. So being able to have someone like you that they can reach out to and talk to, I think is very important work. And especially when it comes to helping people decrease the stress and the strain that they're experiencing, because divorce is not a walk in the park. It is something that is very stressful. I know that with your work, you're a busy entrepreneur and that you're doing a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Can you tell me, what does self-care actually look like in your real life? What is one or two self-care practices that you yourself do that you've noticed make a difference in your life?
I'm a very simple person. I really enjoy life's little pleasures. That means that I have non-negotiables in life. Wherever I am, yes, I have to be facing a tree line. I love my trees. That's a way of decompressing for me. Dealing with people that are really stressed out, because not because they want to, but because they are in the middle of a circumstance that's really stressing, really complicated for them, makes you a little charge yourself. To me, there is nothing better and more simple than just look at the trees and look at the birds. I mean,
Oh,
I
oh,
know
I
that
love that. I
I
love
know,
that.
yeah, not everybody has that. I know that, but this is what works for me. And the other particular self-care practice that I love is dancing. I love dancing. Yay. I'm not talking about clubbing. I'm talking about dancing. Whatever dance, I love it. And the reason why I started doing that, because I have forgotten about that a little bit, was because when I had my divorce, the one that I was talking about before, I realized that I was really sad and I was starting to become depressed. And I gave myself a plan. I told myself, okay, this happened. You cannot change it. The only thing that you can do is move on. It's hard, but that's what it needs to be done. So what I did was that I sat down with myself and I said, okay, you want to cry, cry. You want to sleep, sleep. You want to be lazy, be lazy. I have to wake up because I have to work, but you know what I mean. But whatever it is that you do, you're going to give yourself some specific time. And after that, you're going to find something that you used to do before that brought you joy. And I remember that I love dancing. So I started looking for people who were like-minded and people who like dancing the way I did. And I went there and I started going dancing. And I happened to find this very big community of people that are here in North Carolina that they happen to dance the same dances as I do. And they are very good at it. And that's a very healthy way of decompressing. And it's a great workout too.
Oh,
So,
yes, it is. It is. I love these practices that you've talked about, because I think that with a lot of people, when they hear the word self-care, you were saying earlier, they think that it has to be something that's super expensive or something that takes all day and takes all this time. And people are like, no, I don't have time for that, or I don't have, money to go to the spa every week or to get manicures and pedicures all the time. But it doesn't have to be like that. I love looking out at the trees. Like, nothing makes me happier, even though I'm in the big city, than going out to spend time in the park and just take a walk, look at the trees, look at the leaves, look at how they have the different shapes, different shades of green, even on the same tree. It's so calming. And dancing Dancing doesn't have to cost a thing. All you have to do, put on some music. You have a dance party in your living room. You can dance
It's
during commercials while you're watching TV. Self-care doesn't have to be expensive or take a lot of time.
no. And if people think you're crazy, it doesn't matter. You do it anyway. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You don't know how to do it, you learn. You can learn, you follow YouTube videos. The point is not even dancing. To me, the point is just find a hobby that makes you happy, that brings you back to yourself, that connects you back to the person that you are or that you used to be, and bring that person back.
Everybody has something. Yeah, and even if you can't think about it right now, think back to your childhood. There's something that brings you so much pleasure and so much joy. We all have it inside of us. Speaking of that, you kind of talked a little bit earlier about this, but when women, there's a lot of women struggle with self-care and being able to add more self-care in their lives. What do you think is usually happening beneath the surface when women are struggling to add self-care into their daily lives?
Women, by nature, by definition, we are nurturing creatures. We are, and we might be lonely at some point, or we might be alone, but we are usually surrounded by people. We are usually surrounded by coworkers. We live in a system, and we have our kids, we have our family, we have our husband, we have everybody around us, and everybody and everything around us, because that's life, that's society. It's demanding something from us. That's when we lose ourselves, because we try to care for everybody, everything, and we kind of give out on ourselves. And that's so sad, because that happens every day and we don't even know it. We just go through that. And some people say, okay, I went through that and it's too late for me. No, it's not too late. The fact that you were able to understand that and that you were able to name it, naming things is very important, because once you find the name to your problem, you can do something about it. And
I
to
like
me,
that. Once you figure out and name your problem, you can do something about it. That's a truth bomb. I like it.
yes, to me, that's why lots of women usually tend to put self-care aside. As I said, you want to light a candle, light it. You want to take a shower, a hot shower, do it. You want to take a walk in the park, do it. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you get back to yourself, whatever makes your self-discovery journey, if you're in it, whatever helps you. We forget about everything because we're always taking care of the kids. We're always trying to make sure that they are all fed, that they go to school on time, that we are at work on time. We are always trying to do something. We are always juggling life and managing 11 things at the same time. But when do we handle ourselves?
And I think another thing that makes it difficult for so many women is that even when they are able to carve out just a little bit of time to take care of themselves, a lot of women feel guilty about it. So, what is one mindset shift that you think can help women prioritize self care without feeling all that pesky guilt all the time?
I think that the first thing that we should have for ourselves is respect. When you respect yourself, you respect your time, you respect everybody else's time, you respect everything that you do, you give yourself a purpose, but you need to respect yourself first. To me, that's very, very important, because when you respect yourself, everything else falls into place naturally. And why without guilt? I happen to think that, we live in a society that demands speed, fast things from us. And we have to do everything, we have to handle everything all at once, all at the same time, all fast and well. It has to be good. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. Because people are really quick to recognize what you make, when you do wrong. It doesn't matter how much good you how much good you do. Whatever stands out is whatever you did wrong. So if you respect yourself, you give yourself time. To me, time is kind of it's a little of a trap. Why? Because we always say, oh, we don't have time for this, we don't have time for that. What we actually don't have is motivation. Because when we find motivation behind it, we do find the time. Because we're human beings and we do what we make happen, whatever it is that we want make happen. And if we want to make time and make room for something specific in our lives, it doesn't matter. We do it after our kids go to bed. It doesn't matter. We do it after our husband went to bed. We do it after work. If we want to listen to something, we do it by maybe when you're commuting back home. We find the time. Even if you're cooking, you're listening to something, you're learning something. So to me, the time trap is something real because I work 9 to 6 and I'm drained because of all the work that I have to do the whole day. However, I am motivated because I know that my practice is going to help people. And that gets me going. When you're motivated about something specific, you do find the time instead of scrolling on social media, which is good and perfect because that's how we find ourselves. that's that I'm not saying that's wrong. That's a way of coming down sometimes. I'm not saying that's wrong. Times we're doing that and we are allotting time to things that when we should allotting time to things that really need our attention
Right.
and
The things that matter.
that are gonna get us somewhere, that are gonna help us move on, get a step closer to whatever goal it is that we have in life. That's what I think about the time trap.
Yes, no,
Motivation.
it's true. It is true. And but the things that you feel are important, you will find a way and make a way to be able to do it. And self-care should be one of those things.
Yes.
So tell us about the resource that you contributed to the Self-Care to Wellness bundle. Who is it for and what type of problem does it solve?
So my resource, I'm excited about that resource. I'm very excited. So my resource is called the Monday Mask. And the reason why it's called the Monday Mask is because we are always juggling life, as I said. We are dealing with lots of things at the same time. When the week starts, we have to put on a mask and make it happen. Poker face. You have to wear that mask and show up whatever it is that you need to show up. If it's the kids school, if it's work, whatever you need to go, you need to show up with that mask because in the end no one knows what's underneath it. No one knows what you feel beneath that mask. No one knows your struggles, what you're going through, your reality. No one knows that, and people might ask you about that. And that happens because you might seem off and people might ask you, hey, what's going on with you? But in the end, do you actually are you actually honest with them, or do you give them the answer that they need to know? So yes, so the Monday Mask, it's a toolkit and it has 4 different resources. The main one, it's a guide that gives you a framework. That framework will give you the mask. It's MASK. If you want to know about it, you go download it.
Please do.
And it's going to give you a framework for how to handle everything that you are handling right now. It's a guide that it can be read in one sitting, say in 90 minutes. It doesn't demand too much of your time because the guide, just to avoid burnout, it's going to naturally ask you to stop. And it's going to send you to the second resource, which is the invisible labor inventory. The invisible labor inventory, it's a web tool. You have a name and a cost. So what you're doing with it. The invisible labor inventory, it's going to give you 5 domains in life. Those domains in life, they are legal, emotional, professional, financial, and co-parenting. It's going to ask you a set of questions, and in real time, it's going to give you a map that's going to tell you which area is the one that's more lacking in your life and therefore needs more attention. After you have that, it's going to assign a cost to it because everything has a cost, and we never think about that. Every single thing that we do in life has a cost and a consequence. It costs you money, it costs you energy, it costs you time, it costs you. So that's going to help you determine what kind of cost you are paying right now, which is invisible because you don't think about it. You never think about it. You go through life and you go just sprinting and trying to trying to get everything together, but that has a cost, and you're going to reach a point in life that's going to take a toll on you. And you have to do something about it before it does.
Yes.
you will have the whole framework, and it's going to tell you how to handle that specific area problem that you already found. The third resource that it has, it's called the Sunday Reset Protocol. It's another interactive tool that you're going to use on Sundays. It's very, very simple. You can just devote 10 to 15 minutes to it to complete it. It's meant to be a grounding tool for you. You go through the questions so you know what you left behind the week that just went over. You analyze whatever it is that was left behind, so you know what you have to prioritize in the coming week, what really deserves your attention, so you don't pay attention to those things that don't require the attention that you can be paying to something else that's more important. And it has a fourth part, which is it's a PDF, and it gives you scripts. It's called the scripts for the moments that break the mask. It starts with 3 different situations that you can face at work. Mind you, this specifically is for the person who's dealing with the pressure of showing up at work.
Okay.
And what's going on around her. So the first scripts that whoever downloads it is going to see is what to say to that well-intentioned coworker that asks what's going on. It's going to tell you some sort of script for when your boss asks you why you seem so off. Okay. And the other one is for when you have to say no, how you handle that. And it has a second part. That second part will give you a whole different framework for conversations with people that are always going to ask you something, whether it's with good intentions or bad intentions, and how you're going to talk to them. Ideally, you're going to go through all the scripts. You're going to take whatever feels right for you. You're going to know what to say before the situation happens. You don't have to think on the spot. You don't have to come up with an answer. You don't have to say something that you don't mean, or you don't have to lie. You are going to give a professional, polite answer to an uncomfortable question. After you're done with all that, it gives you different pathways according to the areas that you really need to reinforce in your life.
This sounds like something that it's going to be able to help so many different people, because there are lots of people, lots of women who are stressed out because of whatever's going on, maybe in their personal life, their home life, but then yet you still have to keep going. You still have to show up every Monday morning at work with your mask on and get through the day despite all the different other things that are happening on around you. So that is going to be definitely helpful for a lot of people. But when someone uses your resource, what do you hope feels different for them after they've used it?
I would really like for them to feel seen. I would really like for them to have an idea of what they're going to do about something they even know was a problem. As I said, naming things, and I said it because I said it, naming things is very important, because once you name something that you didn't know it was there, you can do something about it. So hopefully they will be able to see themselves represented in these frameworks, and they will be able to actually go through the whole process. It's something that's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes, and it's going to give you some sort of satisfaction, some sort of realization, and some sort of happiness within yourself that you did something for yourself, for your self-care. This is not something that you read and just put away. This is something that you can come back to, because the area that you're lacking right now is not necessarily the area that you're going to be having problem with 2 weeks from now. So it can change. Your set of steps to tackle whatever needs to be tackled in your life can change. And it's going to give you different options. It's going to give you always a different number, unless nothing changes, obviously, but it's going to give you a whole different path, a whole different set of exercises. It's always going to be different, and you will find value every time you come back to it. So I hope that's what they find it in.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, when people download your resource, how can they stay connected to you?
Well, I have my website, www.trailblazerdivorcecoach.com. I am on Instagram as well, at Trailblazer Divorce Coaching, and they can always send me a message or an email, support@trailblazerdivorcecoach.com. I read everything. I really take care of people, because as a paralegal, I had to read emails. I had to take care of people's requests sooner rather than later.
And what I will do is I will link to all of those things somewhere around this video to make it easy for people to get in touch with you. I have one last question for you, and that is, what is your favorite self-care or stress management related quote?
I used it. I used it in the Monday Mask. When you download it, if you cannot get it right now, so go get it. If you download it, you will see it's the second page, and it's by Ariana Danku, and it goes. She made broken look beautiful and strong look invincible. She walked with the universe on her shoulders and made it look like a pair of wings.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Yes,
It,
that is a good quote, and I think it's something that many women do
yeah.
each and every single day.
We either wear it as an armor or wear it as a pair of wings.
Yes.
It's a very poetic way of saying that we all have something that we're struggling with, and we carry it in, maybe not sometimes not that proudly, but we should, because even negative things teach you something. Sometimes you wonder why things happen to you, but they are always going to teach you a lesson, and that lesson is what's going to help you in your future not to make the same mistakes and know what to do and trust your instincts.
I love it. Well, Meyvel, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to have this conversation with me. You had a lot of really good things to say about stress management and self-care, and I appreciate you. And again, I appreciate you being a sponsor of the Self-Care to Wellness Bundle.
Thank you for having me here, for this opportunity to be a part of your wonderful bundle, because a lot of people need it. A lot of people need to become aware that self-care, it's not an option, it's maintenance.
Yes,
It's
yes,
it's daily maintenance.
it is. It absolutely is. And if it isn't, it should be.